Florida is under a state of emergency and several residents are starting to hunker down.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 11.
And the school shooting hero from up in Indiana, his actions not surprising the people who know him. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 11.
Well, and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news tonight, weather. We've gone from a tropical storm watch to warning today here on the Suncoast thanks to the activity of subtropical storm Alberto in the Gulf of Mexico. Here's a look at the storm on radar, slowly making its way through the Gulf of Mexico. Let's go right over to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for the first of many checks on our forecast tonight. Bob.
Thanks, Adam. We just got the latest in from the National Hurricane Center. Some good news is that it hasn't strengthened. Pressure's dropped just slightly down to 1,001 millibars. Still top winds at 40 miles an hour, but the reconnaissance aircraft is suggesting that may be a little bit on the conservative side. You know, it may be a little stronger in some bursts around some of the storms that are starting to develop near the center, which would mean that the system is trying to get organized. Right now, top winds are at 40. One thing to note, something new that did come down now, the wind direction as far as movement goes, it had been moving out of the north to the north. Now it's got a little bit of a northeasterly turn to it, and we saw that on radar, and it looks as though it'll get a little bit closer to the Suncoast in its forecast path and track. Top winds at 50 at 8 a.m. Sunday, just to the south of Fort Myers, and you can see again those winds are expected to increase subtly throughout the next several hours, and then by again Sunday 8 o'clock up to 60 miles an hour. This thing has a chance of becoming a hurricane before it makes landfall in the panhandle of Florida, simply due to the lack of shear as it moves north of our latitude. On top of that, it looks like it is going to see a little bit better outflow in the upper levels of the atmosphere as a low pressure in the upper levels kind of scoots away to the left of it there and allows it to breeze. So again, here it is at Monday, 65-mile-an-hour winds approaching the panhandle of Florida, and then as it makes its way in, we could see that turn into a hurricane. Some models are suggesting that right there just to the west of Panama City. But for us, we have a very close arrival of tropical storm force winds, and you can see that the cone, this is an area of those 39 to plus mile-an-hour winds on a low scale. We're talking about 40 to possibly 50-mile-an-hour winds skirting right along the coast, and thus that's the reason why we're under a tropical storm warning now for coastal communities, and that means we could see some down power lines as well as some branches, some pretty big branches pulling off some trees there, as well as some of the unsturdy structures, such as, again, we have possibility of some awnings being ripped apart there as a result of those winds as they go on by. So this is turning a little bit differently because of the fact that it is moving a little bit more to the northeast, and we are starting to see a little bit better organization with it now. Flood warning is in effect for the Myakka River at the Myakka State Park. That's new. We have the tropical storm warning. By the way, this is not a tropical storm warning. This is a problem with the graphics right now from the National Weather Service. This is not included. DeSoto County, you're not included in that tropical storm warning, but everyone else along the coast, at least from I-75 westward, included in that tropical storm warning. We have a flood watch in effect for the entire area. Again, that flood watch will stay with us all the way, I think, through Tuesday of next week. You can see all the heavy rainfall well east of the center there, heading toward Miami. There's the center of the storm. You can start to see some lightning too, and that indicates that the storms are getting a little bit more vertical in height into the atmosphere, allowing them to strengthen somewhat. And you can see the rotation quite clearly right there. So we're starting to get storms around the center of Alberto. And the reconnaissance aircraft indicating they had some winds with some of those storms up to 60 miles an hour. So I don't think we'll see the exact center, but we will get close to those tropical storm force winds here along the west coast of Florida. Now it comes down to timing. Timing of those winds appears to be sometime around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then continuing possibly up until around 10 o'clock in the morning as the system works by us. Right now, we're in the clear as far as any heavy rainfall goes, but you can see some big storms starting to develop just the southwest of Sanibel Island. Those are, again, going to rotate around that area of low pressure, so that should not have an impact on our weather during the early morning hours, but by sunrise, certainly showers and storms will start to be intensifying as that low pressure gets closer to us. Again, the warnings in effect, those tropical storm warnings extend all the way out into the Gulf, and so boating is not advisable. Let's go and break down the storm risk levels for us here. Tornadoes, that's a real possibility, but not a very high one on the scale here that you see. Low chances of tornadoes. Damaging winds, they'll be there, and there'll be some around. Medium chances for that happening. Definitely some heavy rain. If not, with the first line or two, we're going to get this onshore flow, and that could certainly be a problem with scattered showers and storms throughout the day on Sunday and even into Monday and Tuesday. Rough seas and rip currents, a real possibility here along the Sun Coast. On top of that, we have high tide tomorrow right around noon. We're not expecting a big coastal problem as far as that goes. We may see some minor coastal flooding as a result of the tides maybe running a couple of feet above average. Well, much more on Alberto coming up in just a few minutes. Adam?
Thank you very much, Bob. And as Alberto appears to be heading towards the Gulf Coast states and Florida Panhandle, officials along the Gulf Coast are warning beachgoers of the dangers of rip currents, but that isn't stopping some tourists from getting in some last-minute beach time before the storm hits. CNN's Jamarlo Phillips has more.
Yellow flags are flying high at Pensacola Beach. While Tropical Storm Alberto is churning hundreds of miles away from Pensacola Beach, thousands of beachgoers are enjoying their Memorial Day weekend while they can. Escambia County Water Safety Chief Dave Greenwood says the storm could bring big waves and dangerous rip currents along the shore over the next several days.
So strong possibility surf could start to increase as we go into the evening hours and then into tomorrow, and possibility that we might be flying a red flag.
Greenwood says it's important for visitors at Pensacola Beach to pay attention to the colors of the flags over the lifeguard towers. He says they are put up each day to show the ocean's conditions before you get in.
If you're not comfortable in the deep end of a swimming pool, you shouldn't go in the water on yellow flag day.
Yvonne Rice and her friends are visiting from Birmingham, Alabama for Pensacola Pride. She says they are trying to squeeze in one last blast of fun before the storm arrives.
Of course, if it gets too bad, of course we will pack up and leave, but if it's okay, if it's like this, we're okay.
But come Sunday, the waves could become dangerous. Nick Weinhardt says he already has a plan in place if the weather gets too bad.
Plan right now is like we're just going to be at the beach today, and then when the rain comes in tomorrow on Monday, probably just stay in, maybe go to the movies.
Lifeguards say no matter the day or the color of the flag, it is always best to swim near a lifeguard and never let your guard down while you're in the water.
You have to use caution because nature can sometimes be dangerous, and if you're not familiar with it, your very, very happy holiday can all of a sudden go from extreme joy to extreme sadness.
Well, Governor Rick Scott has declared a state of emergency for all of Florida's 67 counties ahead of subtropical storm Alberto. Scott making that announcement this morning during a briefing at the State Emergency Operations Center in Tallahassee. Authorities urged Floridians to take this storm seriously.
These things are unpredictable. You know, hopefully for this event that they're going to have this weekend, we don't get it, but it sure looks like we're going to get it. So, you know, start thinking about it. We're getting into hurricane season. We've got to, you know, be safe, take your time, think about what you're doing. I know we all are going to enjoy Memorial Day weekend with our families, but everybody needs to be safe.
And remember, you can follow our storm coverage all weekend long by just going to our website, www.mysuncoast.com, or by downloading our ABC7 weather app. The state's tourism agency, Visit Florida, is partnering with Expedia to help those traveling during the storm. Just visit www.expedia.com/Florida, which will provide accommodations, availability, and information for visitors, residents, and first responders. Well, to avoid any scams during the storm, the Florida Price Gouging Hotline has been activated. Attorney General Pam Bondi activating it shortly after the governor declared that state of emergency. The number for that hotline, 866-9-NO-SCAM, which is 866-966-7226. Remember, state law prohibits businesses from extreme price increases for essentials during emergencies. Well, some locals spending their Saturdays planning ahead to protect their homes. Sarasota County handing out 1,730 sandbags today to residents. Bradenton Public Works bagging up 10 yards of sand into about 5,000 bags. The city of Venice delivered 3 yards of sand to distribute on a limited basis earlier this afternoon. Those sandbags are to protect homes from the heavy rain and possible flooding. Public Works officials say you can never be too careful. Bradenton Public Works saying they have not ruled out the possibility of distributing sandbags on Sunday, but at this time, Sarasota County says they will not be handing out bags tomorrow. Some homeowners are taking extra steps to protect their homes from the heavy rain and potential flooding. Residents of the Shady Brook condominiums up in Manatee County are no strangers to flooding. The neighborhood has been severely flooded 4 times in the last 20 years. Now homeowners are preparing for the worst.
We are trying to get what little things we have up high and just kind of hunker down a bit.
I just look at the canal behind my house to see if it's coming up when it starts raining, and that's when I'll start to move things higher up in the house.
Manatee County Public Works is conducting a study on Bowleys Creek and Pierce Canal, which are about 2 miles down the road. It is looking for the best ways to reduce the flooding risks in the nearby communities there. Hundreds of people from the Tampa Bay community gathered to pay their respects to a mother and daughter killed by a Tampa teenager who was allegedly drag racing when authorities say he hit them. Jessica Rabinault of Jeromesville, Ohio, was pushing her 21-month-old daughter's stroller across Bayshore Boulevard on Wednesday when she was hit by a car and killed. Her daughter, Lilia, was pronounced dead Thursday evening. Investigators say a black Mustang struck the victims. The driver, 18-year-old Cameron Herron of Tampa, and his passenger, 20-year-old Tristan Herron, were arrested. A 17-year-old boy who was driving the other car was also arrested. Today, David Rabinault, Jessica's husband and Lilia's father, was at the memorial.
Our hearts break, especially for David, a husband and father who has lost the 2 people he loved most.
After the speeches, the vigil ended with the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which was Lilia's favorite. And if you plan to be traveling over the weekend, make sure to be careful of gas skimmers. The Commissioner of Agriculture has some tips to avoid becoming a victim of a gas card skimmer. 1, pay inside the store with either a credit card or cash. Use a gas pump that's closest to the front of the store. Use a credit card instead of a debit card, and monitor your bank accounts regularly to spot any unauthorized charges. And if you feel you may have become a victim of a credit card skimmer, contact the gas station manager, local law enforcement, or the Department of Consumer Protection and Information hotline at 1-800-HELP-FLA. That number is 1-800-435-7352. Well, let's check in once again with ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan before we take a quick commercial break. Bob.
Adam, we're looking at the winds that'll be picking up, especially around sunrise tomorrow. It's not going to be anything too terrible. We'll have gusts maybe as high as 30 to 40 miles an hour. And as I said, if it gets closer to us, the coastal communities will see those potential for tropical storm force winds 40 to 50 miles an hour. The power outages, if we see them at all, will be minimal at best across our viewing area. Now, again, those winds will be picking up throughout the day. Here we have noon on Sunday out of the southeast, and that's good news because noon is right about when we have the high tide, and so with winds blowing offshore, it'll cause most of that water to be pushed offshore and not be a big concern when it comes to any kind of coastal flooding due to the high tide. Now, those winds will stay strong throughout the day on Sunday as well. We are anticipating those winds to stay up in the neighborhood of 20 to 25 miles an hour, gusts higher than that throughout the day on Sunday. We'll talk more about Alberto coming up in just a few minutes. Stick around.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. You're going to get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh, yeah. Yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Better organized. That's right. Showers and storms are starting to develop around the center of low pressure, and that's a telltale sign that, yes, we're starting to see this thing get its act together just a little bit, not a lot, and it's not going to rapidly intensify into something we have to be really, really concerned about in terms of any kind of problems with evacuations or anything like that. But for the most part, the center appears to be right there where the lightning is starting to show up, and a little bit more intense thunderstorm action is occurring. And again, that is just almost parallel with Key West, about 115 to 120 miles off the coast. Now, the one thing to note is that I talked about it earlier. It's starting to drift a little bit more to the north-northeast, and that's not the best news for us. That means those tropical storm force winds, at least the minimal part of them, the 40 to 50 mile an hour winds, could brush our coastline, and that's the reason why the National Hurricane Center and the National Weather Service has issued the tropical storm warning for the coastal communities from Charlotte County northward into Manatee. And again, a close-up look revealing that the circulation is not all that impressive as far as the radar imagery goes at this time, but it's still there, and you can see it. It's about 115 miles west of Key West, Florida. We're looking pretty good right now. Not a lot of rainfall around. That's good news, but this rain will intensify as the low pressure center gets closer to us. Those storms will start to become more intense, like we're starting to see just off the coast of Fort Myers at this hour. But I mentioned the live sweep of the radar, not showing many showers around at this point. We can expect showers and storms, though, to develop, especially around sunrise tomorrow. Watches and warnings, we'll go over those quickly. A tropical storm warning remains in effect, basically west of I-75. Here's the wind radius of the system, or at least projected to be, and we'll take you through time here. As we move it through time, you can see here is Sarasota County, and we're starting to see some of that enter in right around 7:30 in the morning. And as we move through time, here's 11 o'clock in the morning, and that would be the time that we would possibly see those tropical storm force winds all throughout the coastal communities. You notice it doesn't extend inland too far at that point, and this is on the outer side, and it's not an exact science here, folks, so we may not see these, but we may see them as well. There's still a chance that may happen. By 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they start to pull away. It will still be very windy. However, as it pulls away, the winds will start to die down a little bit, and they'll pick up for the Panhandle right on in through Sunday night, Monday morning, and into Monday afternoon is when we expect this to make landfall somewhere in the Panhandle of Florida. Power outage projection, not all that high. It's on the low scale at this point. There could be some power outages due to maybe some branches falling on some of the power lines as we move through time. So that's not going to be a huge deal. And quickly, the forecast cone has inched closer to the Suncoast at this point. The winds are expected to pick up to 65 miles an hour as it makes landfall. There's a chance, some models are suggesting that it could become a Category 1 hurricane. The good news is water temperatures right now are minimal near our area, and they're just barely at 80 degrees, and a hurricane or a tropical storm has to have water temperatures at least 80 degrees or above for it to strengthen and get into a strong situation. The flood warning is in effect for the Myakka River near the Myakka State Park. We're starting to see a lot of moisture here. The dry air still has a chance to wrap in it, and you can see it starting to wrap on the southern edge of it back into it. So that's another inhibiting factor for the possibility of any huge rain event. But we are going to see an additional 3 to 5 inches of rain over the course of the next 3 days, it looks like. So that flood watch will stay with us, I think, through Tuesday. Here's the 7-day forecast. You got it, 100% chance of rain throughout the day. On Sunday, winds will be 20 to 25 miles an hour out of the south and southeast. Could see some tropical storm force winds in the mix there. And then 70% chance of rain Monday and still pretty high on Tuesday. Adam will be back with sports right after this. Stick around.
According to a new survey by U.S. News and World Report, 3 of Alabama's top 4 hotels and resorts are part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail Resort Collection. The Grand Hotel Marriott Resort in Point Clear, the Battle House Renaissance Mobile Hotel and Spa, and the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. Hey, we didn't invent Southern hospitality, we just offer more of it. Visit rtjgolf.com/resorts to find out more.
With the Brinks prepaid MasterCard, it's easy to manage our money. I get a text alert every time our card is used, so we always know our balance.
And we're protected from unauthorized transactions. Brinks gives us peace of mind.
Introducing the Brinks prepaid MasterCard. With direct deposit, you can get your paycheck or government payments up to 2 days faster.
Brinks knows what's valuable to me, time.
Load money onto your card and then shop online, pay bills. With Brinks, you can conveniently manage your money online and with the mobile app. Call now or go online to get your Brinks prepaid MasterCard. And in this TV-only offer, personalize your Brinks prepaid MasterCard with your photo for added security. Brinks knows what's valuable to you. Call right now to order your Brinks prepaid MasterCard.
Call 1-800-287-3014.
Or go online. Call now.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Selfless service is the guiding principle of every Army National Guard soldier. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. To be an Army National Guard soldier is to serve something greater than yourself. Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
Now, sports.
The Tampa Bay Rays continue their tango with a .500 record tonight in Game 2 of their series with the Orioles. First inning, Joey Wendell hooking one to right field. just going to kiss the line out there. That's a fair ball. First baseman C.J. Cron hustling all the way from first around third and home to give the Rays an early lead. The next batter, Wilson Ramos, scores Wendell with a liner to right, tries to turn it into a double, but he forgets he's a catcher and is thrown out at second base. Anthony Banda going 6 1/3 innings for the Rays, striking out 7 and giving up 1 run. They beat the Orioles 5-1. We'll be joined once again by ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with a final look at your First Alert weather forecast after a quick break.
My credit score was not that great.
I didn't understand what went into my credit score.
It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach.
Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think, I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free. You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
Hunger is a growing problem in our area, and a huge number of Suncoast residents are suffering in silence.
It could be your coworker,
your child's classmate,
or your friend fighting to secure their next meal. But you can help.
ABC7 is partnering with local organizations to help feed the Suncoast.
Go to mysuncoast.com/hunger to join the fight. Help us.
Help the hungry.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
ABC7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station. The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
It's been a long night of looking at radars. Let's enjoy a father-son at the ballpark. Red Sox Braves. This kid's got a great seat, but unfortunately dad's got butterfingers, drops a foul ball, and watch as his son lets him know about it. Showing he had the hand gestures going. He had now just giving him the cold shoulder.
Why'd you catch that,
Dad?
Yeah,
come on, Dad. Set an example. Well, Bob Harrigan
there it is. Boom up.
is back with us, and he never drops the ball, especially when it comes to storm coverage.
I feel bad, you know. The father, you know, you think maybe the baseball players would have come up there and visited and gave him the ball. But
relationship needs mending.
That's
right. I think moving forward, it's going to be a long, long road.
Forever, that video will be around.
Probably.
We are looking at the possibility of some heavy rainfall here. Not so much overnight. It shouldn't be a big issue. We will monitor it, however. You see some big storms firing up southwest of Marco Island and Fort Myers right now. The center is still a long way away, but boy, big storms in Key West. I checked some of the storm reports down there in several different weather stations, and they're reporting wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour, and that's obviously close to tropical storm force strength, slightly above it, but they're not sustained at this point. Those sustained winds are around that tightly wound center that you see right there, rotating just under the T of Titan. That is the center of the low pressure. I think it's starting to establish itself a little bit more. We're getting some lightning developing. That means those storms are starting to get some height to them, and right now not a lot going on here as far as rainfall goes. It's been pretty quiet today, really light rain, but we will see some heavier storms, there's no doubt. I know people are going, yeah, you guys are talking about all this stuff, but these things are so hard to really pick as far as where they're going to develop and where they're going to rechange their low pressure situation as far as location. Well, they kind of did today, and that's the reason why we got put under that tropical storm warning, and that'll be with us probably through tomorrow mid-afternoon.
Well, our coverage far from over. We'll have a presence throughout the night into the morning. Check our social media pages, weather app. We'll be updating you throughout the night and morning.